enemy of the state.
Yo, this is Millennial Sport Talk. This is episode 4. Yes, this is the same day. We're dropping 2 episodes in one day. Why? Because I got backed up over the weekend with a sickness, and also because Game of Thrones has taken my interest. And if you're really interested in Game of Thrones, you watch Game of Thrones. Yeah, don't spoil anything in the comments. I'm in season 4 right now. So I'm trying to catch up before the new season comes out. I think was it next year, early next year. Um, and if you're really interested, I'll drop my hate and like power ranking index of characters. So stay tuned, and let's go ahead and jump into some football. We had the NFL's preseason week 2 wrap up just now, and we're going into preseason week 3, which is the most important week of preseason. My Steelers played against Green Bay, and let me just address this really quickly. Pittsburgh was tied 14-14, or even, let's say this, they gave up a field goal, okay? And it was 17-14 when a lot of the starters started to come out. So I don't understand what this concern is just because they lost the preseason game. I mean, when they won the preseason game the previous week against the Eagles, were we talking about going to the Super Bowl? No, it's not a big deal. We just want to see individual performances. And this week is no different. Individual performances from James Washington. I really liked what I saw. Mason Rudolph, of course, he had the pick 6, which contributed to that 14 that we're talking about, that 51 if you want to get at it. But Mason Rudolph, he showed us enough to warrant a roster spot over Dobbs, I think. I do think the linebacker core, I thought they were going to be a concern going into the season. The fact that Jimmy Graham was able to score and do what he did against us, that's not anything new than what Jimmy Graham does to everybody, even the best defenses. So I'm not worried about that. Overall, Pittsburgh's in a great position, and I've seen some real negative comments on. I don't know if you guys read Behind the Steel Curtain. I used to comment and post on there a lot, but due to negativity and just craziness of some fans, I had to stay away. It's just good for your health not to go into that website that often. But there's a couple of users over there just consistently negative, and those same users were predicting an 8-8 season for Pittsburgh, which is it's just laughable. 8-8 for Pittsburgh. Put your money where your mouth is. You want to predict 8-8? Come on to the show, and we'll put a wager for $500. Hell, I'll put $1,000 wager. Pittsburgh's not going 8-8 this year. I promise you that. So let's see if they take me up on it. But 8-8 is out of the question. So and even a lot of them were predicting we would lose to Cleveland. Cleveland Browns that did not win a single game last year, went 1-32 over the last 2 years, and have a ton of new faces and new parts and new coaches in Cleveland. I don't know if any of you guys are watching Hard Knocks, but that's some golden stuff over there with the every time their offensive lineman says hut, his big ass belly's jiggling everywhere. This is the guy that doesn't believe in stretching. He doesn't believe in stretching. He believes that if America can win a world war, which they didn't do by themselves, by the way, without stretching, which there is no proof at all whatsoever that nobody stretched. In this war with guns, you're not running at each other, you're shooting at people. And yeah, you can stab, but shoot bullets run faster, so you don't need to run. So this guy's an idiot. He in the obviously I know they're not going to show every coaching technique, but it's just hilarious that part of the introductory film that they showed for the new week, he's showing them films of gorillas and pigs and hogs, and he's like, yeah, these are the guys that you need to be like. Okay, yeah, thanks for showing me a video of a gorilla and a hog. Now I know exactly how to beat the Steelers in 21 days. It's pretty hilarious. So it's good TV, and that's what I expected to be. That's why I turned into Hard Knocks, because it's a bunch of wannabes. Jarvis Landry, yes, you're a wannabe. He's a guy who wants to be a star, because right now he's not a star. He's getting paid like a star. He wants to be considered as good as Odell. He wants to be Antonio Brown, but he's not. He's not. That's why he plays for the Browns. So I'm not worried about the Browns week 1. I do think they'll give us a tough test. I do think that it's going to be it's not going to be more than a 2 touchdown game, but we will win that game. Not worried about that. Around the league, we saw a number of other, I guess, freshman rookie quarterbacks play, and quite honestly, none of them were that appealing. I mean, Baker Mayfield had a decent outing against number twos and threes. We know Lamar Jackson had some struggles. Josh Allen didn't look particularly well, in my opinion, especially going against the Browns. And the guy from Arizona, Josh Rosen. I mean, all these guys are looking what I expect to see from a rookie quarterback. Nobody has that wow factor right now. So don't buy the hoopla that you're reading in ESPN or Fox Sports. These talking heads. They're on every day. Every day they're talking, and I catch myself now. Luckily, I can edit myself. But if I'm on live TV and you have to make things interesting, you're getting paid. They're getting paid a lot more money than I am. Of course, you're going to have to hype people up. You want people to be interested in your show, so people are going to make certain things up and overplay it because it's their show. They're not going to have to be responsible for anything. They can ignore what they want to ignore, and that's exactly what's going on. So don't buy the hype on these quarterbacks. Don't take any of these quarterbacks in your fantasy leagues. Please don't. If you're going to pick them up on the waiver list when the draft is over, because I do not recommend getting any of these guys as being a good candidate to lead your fantasy team, as they may not even be playing. I think the only one that's Josh Allen is vying for a playoffs. I mean, a position, a starting position, because of AJ McCarron, who was also a career backup quarterback. He's been injured in and out of the lineup, and we'll see how he does in week 3. But and he'll be the starter. So that's really going to determine whether or not he's going to be a starter week 1. Yeah, that's right. Rosen has Sam Bradford in Arizona he's competing against. I don't see him winning that quarterback competition. And we already talked about Baker Mayfield. Tyrod Taylor is going to be starting against the Steelers week 1. I would love to have Baker Mayfield. Granted, he's talented. I like the football he throws, but you don't want that guy leading an NFL huddle week 1. You just don't. He needs to have time, and then what happens is you put him in a no pressure situation at the end of the game, or not at the end of the game, but possibly when the game's already over, where he can just give a spark, and he's going against a relaxed defense, not a defense chomping at the bits. So no, Hugh Jackson's doing the right thing and not starting Baker Mayfield. So we'll see what happens with these crop of quarterbacks, but I don't expect much week 1. Next up, we have my good friend Daniel. He's going to be going over the NFC South. He's our expert, the analyst on this division, one of the most competitive divisions in football. Year in and year out, we have different winners. So on the phone, Daniel, man, what do you have going in over there in Carolina, Panther country? NFC South, you guys got a big matchup this week against the New England Patriots. Luckily, it's just a preseason game, but that's such a good opportunity to see what your team is made of. What do you expect?
Well, if we're being honest, heading into week 3 of preseason, it's pretty hard to expect much from the Panthers in this next upcoming showing against the New England Patriots, just for the simple fact that we're currently battling 3 starting mishaps on the O-line. And although I don't consider the Patriots D-line great, I do think scheme-wise they're going to present some blitz packages that are a little complicated for our backup offensive line to handle.
Even in the preseason? Even in the preseason, you expect that?
Yeah, even in the preseason. I think that the Patriots are tired of playing us, and the last time we played them, Cam Newton left a tremendously bad taste in their mouth. And I think that we're going to see them come out and try and hit them even a little bit more than you typically see in a preseason game. That's honestly what I expect.
Okay, so from the offense, do you expect Cam to, play a quarter, a half? I mean, who are you expecting to show up that you want to see get the most reps this game?
Well, I want to see DJ Moore get the most reps. I think he's shown a lot of positive
Oh, the
things when it comes
speedster.
to being a rookie receiver.
Oh
But
yeah, he's real quick down I-77.
oh yeah, I saw he got the little speeding ticket with the citation. But rookies make mistakes, but he'll get back on track and be focused as the season starts. But I'm looking for two major players on Carolina's offensive side of the ball this week. Outside of Cam Newton, because obviously Cam is always the focal point. But heading into week 3 of preseason, I'm looking to see what people like Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore are going to be doing, because when it comes to the efficiency of our offense and the way that the defenses have been set up and geared to play around Cam Newton for the last 2 seasons in the NFC South, the major problem that we've been lacking in our receiving core is speed. DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel both offer exceptional talent at that facet of the game. So if that can be infused with a good possession receiver and a great tight end in Greg Olsen, good possession receiver in Devin Funchess, if we can infuse that type of quick-hitting speed that Cam Newton had in 2015 when Ted Ginn was our lead receiver, and if Curtis Samuel can stay healthy, I think that we're going to see a lot of positive things out of the Panthers' passing game that we haven't seen in a very long time.
Okay, so before I get your prediction for the NFC South, just a little appetizer before, later on we're going to be doing a full analysis of each division. I want to get your thoughts on your new running back combination that some people were calling, was it Dash and Smash 2.0 with Christian McCaffrey and the guy from Denver, who's the guy, C.J. Anderson, I believe it is. Is that going to be a potent combination, or is that just going to be basically Christian McCaffrey and with a little dash, if you will, no pun intended, with of C.J. Anderson whenever Christian needs a breather?
Well, the early reports from camp and Ron Rivera are indicating that they want Christian McCaffrey getting anywhere between the realm of 20 to 30 touches a game. Now, I'm just going to be honest. I don't know if Christian McCaffrey has the frame to handle that type of workload, especially when it comes to running in between the tackles. I know that he's put on about 6 pounds of muscle this offseason, and he looked good in the Dolphins preseason game. But
it was the Dolphins.
I agree. It's the Dolphins. I'm not saying that that's anything that's overly impressive. If I'm being realistic, I don't think that Christian McCaffrey, if he's getting that amount of touches, I don't think that they're coming all out of the running back. They're not coming as out of the backfield. That's going to be, I would assume that is the amount of touches that Ron Rivera is looking to get him in combination of running and passing.
Okay. Fair enough. So
I think C.J. Anderson is an upgrade from Jonathan Stewart from last season. He is healthy, and I love Jonathan Stewart. He is one of my favorite Panthers, but if we're just going to be honest, for the last 3 seasons, we barely saw Jonathan Stewart lace up for maybe more than 7 games at a time. And C.J. Anderson already showed last season that he can run behind pretty much any stable O-line. And when I say stable, I don't mean good. I just mean an O-line that is consistently there. Like an O-line that is in place building chemistry. Because, again, I don't think the Panthers are going to have an exceptional O-line. And I think that's going to limit some of what CJ and Christian McCaffrey are able to do when we're playing teams that have top-tier edge rushers.
Yeah. Okay. So while I have you just for a few more minutes, I just want to give a quick prediction and why of your NFC South division winner for 2018. Go.
Well, heading into the 2018 season, it's kind of hard to think that anybody but the New Orleans Saints can win the division. If we're just being objective, the Saints split with the Falcons. They beat the Panthers 3 times, and they beat the Bucs. And when you look at the course and the frame of where the division is headed right now.
Hold on a second. Didn't you guys lose to the Falcons in the playoffs? Not the Saints?
We lost to the Saints for the 3rd time that season.
Okay, I'll forget. I knew it was a divisional opponent, but so the Falcons didn't make the playoffs. Then that's what it was.
No, the Falcons made the playoffs, and they made it and lost in the semis of the NFC to the Eagles. It was a very good game.
Oh yeah, they went to Philly. Yeah, they went to Philly. Okay, no, you're right.
at the end of the day, I'm more impressed by what New Orleans has done in a short turnaround. I think that they've also got some interesting pieces that they drafted this year. And unfortunately for the league, and especially the NFC South, Drew Brees is refusing to retire, and it seems like he's getting better every season. And with the addition of Alvin Kamara into that backfield, now they have a guy. Mark Ingram was good. Alvin Kamara is that guy that forces the defense to reckon with him every play that he steps out onto the field. You cannot ignore his presence in the backfield. And unfortunately for all the defenses in the NFC South, none of them are truly built to be able to handle what the Saints offer receiving-wise and coming out of the backfield now with a Hall of Fame quarterback sitting back there. Alvin Kamara was kind of like the final piece that they needed to become that complete offense, and now that the defense has returned to not terrible, they're going to be tough to beat. That's my pick for the 2018 NFC South champion.
All right, well, there you have it. Thanks, Daniel, for calling in, and we'll get back to you on the show whenever it's time to release those 2018 full NFC South record predictions as we're getting headed to week 1 in about 2 weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks. So we'll get you back on for the show for that. But thanks again for calling in.
No problem. Can't wait.
All right, so for the last segment of today's show, we're going over just around the league, some things I saw. Number one thing I saw was the Patriots, man. The Patriots are going to be for real again. We know that they got Cordell Patterson. They just cut Kenny Britt. But, it doesn't really matter the names. The only names that really matter is Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. So the simple fact of the matter is, as long as those guys are in place, they're going to find a way, legal or illegal. Okay, does it really matter if you're not getting caught? If you're driving in a highway and you and your friend bet, oh, I get to the gas station before you do, and you gotta buy me a pack of beer, and he speeds and goes 150 miles per hour, but it slows down right before the cop gets there. Does it really matter that he's speeding? No, it doesn't, because he didn't get a ticket. He got there before you. Now you got to pay up. That's what the Patriots do. They find ways to win. Yes, they cheat. I bet Brady's on steroids. He's 41 years old and he's still playing like he's 32. So if he doesn't have a decline this year, then that's just confirmation that he's on some kind of stuff that's not allowed. But besides the haterism in me, I don't see them going any worse than 12-4. That would be a disappointment for them. And I expect a 13-3 season out of New England. I think they'll lose that first game to Jackson. That second game, I guess you could say, the first loss of the season may be to Jacksonville on the road, as they have to go down there pretty early. But they'll rebound. I do, Pittsburgh might be a win, might be a loss. We don't know, but they're not losing to much anybody else after that. And then, of course, one thing I also hate. I hate how the NFL gives them Miami late in the year. They never have to face Miami early in the season in August, September. Well, not August, but September or October. Even October is hot in Miami. You go there down in December, it's so much cooler. It's not even funny. It's a completely different climate. And I've been living down here for 3 years. So that October game, I went to the Steelers game when we lost in Miami. That was one of the hottest days I have been that entire summer. And it wasn't summer, it's October. But I was sweating so profusely after living there. And I'm like, I never sweat like this. But the humidity was insane that day. So, yeah, they're going to give New England the Miami game when it's cooler, it's 70 degrees, it's feeling nice breeze, not as much humidity. So I think they'll win this year after losing last year. But besides the Patriots, we saw Andrew Luck come back, who's also struggling. They're going to struggle. I don't know if he'll finish this season. Andrew Luck is, let's just face it, he's on a crappy team. That's what happens to teams. And this is why Cleveland still sucks, is because if you can't protect the quarterback, he's not going to last. And Andrew Luck doesn't look like he's going to last. And what else happened in the NFL this week? We had not a lot of excitement outside of that. And what did I already talk about? So for the final segment, we have our bonus material of the episode, which is Game of Thrones power rankings. And I have two different power rankings. You have your first power ranking, which I'm gonna go through, is the who do I like power rankings. This is as of season 4, episode 5, I believe. Episode 5 is where I'm at, and the other power ranking is characters who I hate, and I hate characters and like characters based on a couple different reasons. One is how well do you make power moves? How smart are your moves? And then, of course, the type of moves you make. So I'm not going to go into the details of that because it's a lot of objective. And it's not very objective. It's just very subjectiveness. So number one, my favorite character in the moment is Daenerys Targaryen. I mean, the woman, she's beautiful. She's nice, kind, reasonable, but she knows how to make power moves. People underestimate her all the time, and she comes out on top. Tywin Lannister is my number 2. A lot of people disagree with this. Whatever. He's you might not like him because he's evil. I don't think he's evil. I think he's doing what's in the best interest of his family, and he doesn't care he has to do it. He does have a certain code he goes by, but guess what? He holds everybody to the same standard. He holds his family members to a higher standard, and I do wish that, obviously I hate some of his family members, but Tywin, I can get down with him. I can understand his logic, his reasoning, and his ability to be cutthroat. I respect his ability to be cutthroat. Number 3 is Tyrion. Tyrion is very funny. Obviously, a lot of people like Tyrion. One thing that holds him back a little bit is he's not as cutthroat, but that makes him a little more likable too. Marjorie Tyrell, I like her. Do I need to give my reasons to like Marjorie? I mean, I won't say she's harmless. She knows what she wants. She wants to get it, and she's very cunning in how she does it, and she's willing to work and do different ways to get it. And then, of course, Arya Stark, who, honestly, she's kind of got on this list because she's like a little pipsqueak, I guess, but she's cute. That's the best thing she got going for her. She's cute, and she kills people. I like the fact she's a little girl. She stabbed the old ass man in the neck. I mean, how can you not like that? So she got on my list by stabbing that guy with her little needle, and she killed a couple guys in that episode, actually, now that I think about it. Over to the hate list, and this is going to surprise a lot of people. I will make one change because of the last episode. I will make a switch, but my new number 1 is Cersei Lannister. I can't stand the bitch. I think everybody hates Cersei. She was actually not my number 1 until just recently, but my number 2, who was number 1, Sansa Stark. Fuck Sansa. Sansa is so fucking worthless. She's useless. What does she do on the show? She just obliges and says to everybody what they want to hear. Like, Sansa, grow a pair of balls and do something. Make power moves. Get what you want. What does Sansa want? I don't know what she wants. Her dad's dead. Her brother's dead. She doesn't know what she wants. Fucking kill Sansa off. I'll be happy with her death. Number 3, only because my previous number 3 died. So I will have to replace him. But let's just do this. Joffrey was number 3. Okay? Joffrey, you don't have to explain why he should be on the list, right? He's just despicable. Number 4, who's now number 3, is Pycelle, the scrawny ass little old ass man that's on the chamber council. I don't even know what his job is. He's just a pussy licker for Cersei and just listens to everything she says, and he lies about it. Yeah, Pycelle's scum of the earth. Like, I can't get down with this guy, Pycelle. He doesn't care what's going on. He's just going to side with Cersei. And then number 4, number 4 will be Melisandre, the Red Lady. She makes power moves, but for some reason I can't respect her. Like, it seems like she'll fuck anybody and then just have demons come out of her pussy. Like, you can't like that. What's good with it? That's just weird. And then number 5 is Theon. And Theon might slide off this list because he got his ball snipped. So that makes him a lot more humble. But it's just like, Theon, man, you literally fucked everything up. You're an idiot. Like, you thought you was doing your dad like a solid. You thought you was about to be king of the castle, king of Winterfell, and now your balls are snipped. So yeah, shit went sideways for you, Theon. But there you have it. That's my power rankings. I'm only doing 5. I mean, there's a number of different characters that I hate and a number of characters that I like. Jaime Lannister, who may get pushed back on his list at some point. I mean, with him with no hand, he's definitely not hated. I mean, he has one hand. I don't hate him now. I mean, he's got his hair cut. He looks like he's got his life together, and he hates his sister now. He just raped his sister, Cersei. So that's definitely taking him off the hating list for raping Cersei. As bad as that sounds, but yeah, he raped her after Joffrey was dead. She was like, "No, no, not now, no." And he's like, "No, I want you now." And he just did it. So
it's not rape. It's not rape. They have children
okay,
together.
You can rape your wife, Daniel. Okay, you can rape your wife. You
it's
can do that.
His wife. It's his
but you
sister.
can't. But if you can rape your wife, you can rape your sister. It doesn't matter if you had kids.
Yes, that's possible, but it's not rape. What she was doing was crying out, saying no, because she was trying to resist the natural attraction she has for her brother. It was not no. I'm like scared that you're about to hurt me. It was no, we shouldn't be going
okay,
down.
Daniel, you shouldn't. So all right, well, Daniel, you don't need to try to clarify what is rape and what is not rape. That's not a good look right now for saying that what he did when she said no is not rape, because no means no, Daniel. And I hope Daniel, no means no. He had her on the ground. She didn't want to do it. It was rape. That's it. So he will make it over. We'll see if somebody gets knocked out. Tyrion looks like he might take an L soon because they're accusing him of murder right now. That's what's going on in the episode. He's locked up. Jaime went to go see him. Jaime asked, "What do you want me to do?" Tyrion's like, "Free me." Like, clearly that's what I want you to do. And Jaime's like, "Dog, I can't do it."
Give me the hate list in order from 1 to 5 where you're at currently.
Right now it's Cersei, Sansa, Pycelle, Melisandre, and Theon.